Okay, so this is the how I'd go about first drawing your project for your design analysis. I've just done a very, very rough sketch of some overall dimensions of a park bench that I'm going to try and draw, and then I've broken that down also into some component sizes, and I've actually used, look here, I've actually used the stock size of timber that I might use. So just to start off with, I'm going to go into Inventor and Standard Millimeter Part, so Standard IPT. So new sketch. I'm going to begin by selecting this plane to draw my outside leg on. So rectangle, it's going to be cut from 140 tab by 900 millimeter material. So this just gives me an idea of how big it's going to be. And inside that, I'm just going to come out, it's going to be 68 millimeters in this direction. And I'm getting this information from the plan. And I'm not too sure how far up I'm going to go there. So if I refer back to my drawing here, I'm coming up to about 450 millimeters. So coming up 450. And just making sure that I get that at 90 degrees using the tab key. And then the angle that you go back here is up to you. It's, you know, just have a look and see how much of a lean you want to have going back. I'm going to go about there. And then from this point, I'm going to come out in this direction, trying to get that. Oops, I might actually type in 68 millimeters for that to make it easier later. So from this point of intersection, going out this direction, 68. And I'm going to use this command up here, which is a constraint. I want this line and this line to be perpendicular, 90 degrees. And then I'm going to come down in this direction, you know, roughly 90 degrees, and again using that constraint, 90 degrees. Locking that in. It's a little line to return to that point of intersection. I'll make sure I get that line. Okay, then I'm just going to hit X for trim, or you can select trim from your modified toolbar, just trimming off pieces that we don't need. And we can also delete a few of these constraints, so we can delete our lines. Sometimes when you can't delete things, it's because they're constrained. If you get rid of that constraint on it, you'll be able to delete them. Okay, so right click, finish sketch, and our project's going to be 32 millimeters thick, so we can extrude our material 32. So this now gives us the outside shape of our leg. On the surface here we're going to put in a mortise hole. And so just going back to my little sketches, got the mortise hole here, about 400 millimeters to the top or to the centre of where the domino is going to go. And my domino size, we've got a radius of 10 millimeters and 20 millimeters between centres. Okay, so I'm just going to start by drawing a circle from this little green point. That gives us a centre. So type in 10, enter. I'm going to draw another one, making sure you've got that dotted line, so you're having to over-constrain things. Okay, from the midpoint, we're going to have 20 millimeters. And I'm just going to link these up. Okay, X for trim, or select trim up the top. And we also need to general dimension it from the bottom. So it's 400 millimeters to the centre, to that point. 400. Right click, finish sketch, extrude, and we're going to be cutting in 32 will be fine, go OK. Now this is going to be the same for left and right side, so we're going to come up here and go save. This little folder is another folder that I was using, so I might just call this a test chair. Just put my new parts in. So I'm going to call this one here right side, save, and then save it again as left side. So just having to redraw it. That's okay. Okay, so down the bottom here we've got left side, so we need to put a new sketch on here. So right click, new sketch. And we need to put our mortise on this side, so we will grab the geometry from the other side here. It's part of it. So from that point, 10, from that point, 10, linking them up. X for trim. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to copy this, selecting this base point, and I'm just going to place it up along this line anywhere at the moment. So I'm going to need 2 in there. And then I'm going to place a line, a construction line from the center point, so where we get that green, just down, and you can see that it's coming out perpendicular from that constraint icon. And now I'm going to use the move command, so selecting the objects to move, selecting the base point. I want to place that on top of the line, like that. And now I want to general dimension it 50 millimeters from the top. And I also need to rotate it, just so it's sitting where it needs to be sitting. So just moving that around to get that sitting on the line. Just do the same thing with this next one. Just going to move it, base point from the center, into that line. General dimension, I think we'll go 300 millimeters between centers from the top, so we can see. Or we might go 400. No, 300. And you can modify this as you go. Then we just need to rotate it around, same as we did before. So center point. Just try that again. Rotate. Center point. Done. Just remembering these measurements for when we go to do the other side. So 50 millimeters from the top, I'd be writing this down in the plan, and then 300 millimeters. Then we're going to go right click, finish sketch, extrude. So from that point, and that point, and we're going to cut the material away, and distance of 10, and we go OK, and hit save. Do the same thing for the other side.